What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the OG family. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel only if you want to. But look, my beautiful people, we got this 10 creepy animals that can enter the human body. I mean, don't be looking at us men calling us creatures, but at the end of the day, we're gonna figure out in this video so we can exclude ourselves. We not in here. But look, man, hopefully y'all having a good day. Hopefully y'all in the mood for some good jokes, some good information, and this is always just a good vibe on my channel, especially with the people that subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate y'all when I be reading the comments. Sometimes I can't comment back to everybody, but I read the comments, and I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Y'all just be down there vibing. Don't be no drama, nothing. Everybody got different opinions, but we all a family. That's what it's all about. So let's get into this video right here. Let's run this video up to like 10,000 likes. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all got y'all notifications on always, and let's get it.
Filarial worms, also known as roundworms, can wreak havoc on human health. They typically enter the bloodstream through mosquito bites and actively target the lymphatic system. They're linked to a condition known as elephantiasis tropica, which causes severe and painful swelling in the legs, arms, breasts, and genitals. The skin may also become thicker, causing sufferers to experience pain. In developing countries, the debilitating condition also carries a social stigma, with sufferers often becoming ostracized. The case reports on elephantiasis are among the most gruesome of all parasitic diseases. Mohammed Mushtaq from Pakistan pleaded with doctors to amputate his leg after it got so swollen that it weighed 330 pounds.
Oh, wow.
The feet of one Indian woman got incredibly swollen from a very young age, so much so that she was never able to wear shoes.
God.
One Kenyan man had to undergo surgery for scrotal elephantiasis as he suffered from a 4-foot penis and 11-pound testicles. In a similar case, American man Wesley Warren Jr.'s scrotum weighed 100 pounds.
Wow.
Some roundworm species, namely Onchocerca volvus, are known to cause river blindness. On a global scale, it's the second most common cause of blindness resulting from infection. Number 9.
I didn't know we was gonna just start off like that though. Like I had no clue, y'all. My bad. Look, I thought they was gonna warm us up. No, they went straight for the jugular off of number 1. Wow. Number 10 in a minute.
Hookworms. When viewed close up through a microscopic lens, the hookworm is arguably one of the most terrifying parasites on our list. 2 species, Ancylostoma duodenal and Necato americanus, are known to commonly infect humans. The former has 2 rows of teeth, while the latter has a pair of cutting plates. They live in animal feces, and the larvae enter the human body by burrowing through the skin. One of the most common ways in which people get infected is by walking.
You're not just gonna be hanging out in shit, literally, and then biting me? Oh, that's so disrespectful.
Barefoot on contaminated soil. Florida teenager Michael Dumas, for example, got a bad hookworm infection in his foot after his friends buried him in the sand. Doctors found hookworms, one of which was close to 3 inches long, crawling under Dumas' skin. He was given antibiotics, steroids, and anti-parasitic medication, but was still in pain even a month after the incident. Hookworms will typically settle in the small intestine and rely on the human body for nutrition. Aside from fatigue, weakness, and abdominal pain, they are also known to affect the physical and mental development of young children. Number 8. Whipworms.
That's crazy.
Much like hookworms, whipworms enter the human body via contaminated soil. Eggs are primarily transmitted through dirty hands or unwashed fruits and vegetables. As the larvae hatch, they take up residence in the large intestine. The most common symptom of heavy infection is painful bowel movements, which contain a mixture of blood, mucus, and water.
Wow.
Severe complications include appendicitis, rectal prolapse, or bloody diarrhea. In children, whipworm infection can cause nutritional deficiency, as well as impede cognitive growth and development. Whipworms aren't by any means recent human parasites. In a Turkish historic village, microscopic eggs were found in human feces samples going back more than 9,000 years. Number 7.
Hey, that's crazy though, man. Like, wow. And a lot of dudes don't like to go to the hospital, man. If look, especially a lot of times it be too late. Women, most of the time, y'all just take care of yourselves. I give y'all that credit. Okay, whatever. Now we done talking about y'all perfect selves. But for us, you feel me? Like, a lot of times we don't, bro. Like, if you lose a finger, you be willing to tape that thing back on and take your chances rather than go to the hospital and get it stitched up and everything. Well, look, man, you find something wrong with you, blood coming out and stuff, bro, get checked out. That's real talk.
Toxoplasma gondii. Toxoplasma gondii is a parasite capable of infecting any warm-blooded creature. But so far, cats are its only known definitive hosts. The parasite spreads to humans via exposure to infected cat feces, but can also be contracted from various contaminated meats. It causes a condition called toxoplasmosis, which in people with weak immune systems can cause seizures and poor coordination. It's particularly dangerous for expecting mothers, since it can be transmitted to unborn fetuses through the placenta. Congenital toxoplasmosis increases the risk of miscarriage, while the infant may also suffer from blindness, epilepsy, or severe mental abnormalities. In the US, an estimated 750 people succumb to toxoplasmosis each year, with nearly half of those cases being associated with tainted meats. The CDC recommends proper food preparation and for cat owners to regularly change litter boxes so as to prevent a buildup of the parasite in their homes. Number 6.
See, look, that's why, look, man, I'm not really a cat person anyway. Like, what I learned from this video already, I'm not, well, I don't do that country shit no more where I don't just have no shoes on. I just be walking outside. Can't walk on the grass, can't play in the dirt. I ain't even hitting the beach because I don't even rock with the water anyway. They got sharks in there. What else? You know, cats. Don't like cats really. You know, so I think I'm safe out here in these streets. What about y'all?
Tapeworms. Tapeworms are, for good reason, among the most dreaded human parasites. Eggs may be transmitted through soil or fecal matter, but the most common means of human infection is through consuming raw or undercooked meat. Tinea solium is a type of tapeworm that comes from pork, while Tinea saginata is found in beef. The eggs typically become attached to the gastrointestinal wall. Once the eggs hatch, the larvae start depriving the host of nutrients and may grow for years without being detected. Adults are hermaphrodites and may actually produce more eggs inside their host. Tapeworm infections aren't typically deadly, but in severe cases may cause loss of appetite and emaciation. However, it's possible that the larvae start penetrating the intestinal wall. Once they enter the bloodstream, they're basically on a highway connecting various muscle tissues. The most dangerous aspect is that the tapeworms can actually travel to the central nervous system. They become lodged at the site, causing a condition called neurocysticercosis. Cysts start forming in the brain, which can lead to blindness, epileptic seizures, lesions, or tumor-like growths. The condition is associated with major neurological problems and even death. It's been described as a hidden pandemic, the leading cause of seizures worldwide, and is suspected of being the most common parasitic disease of the brain.
Oh, wow.
Reports of tapeworm infections describe nightmarish situations. In 2019, a Chinese construction worker was found with over 700 tapeworm cysts in his body, including in the brain and lungs. A Thai man was horrified when he pulled a live tapeworm out of his backside. The stretched-out worm reportedly measured close to 30 feet. One man had a 5-foot tapeworm removed through his nostril, and he'd reportedly been living with the parasite for 15 years. Since tapeworms are hard to detect and victims are often asymptomatic, they can live inside the human body for up to 3 decades and can potentially grow to be 80 feet long. Number 5.
I'm terrified now. I'm terrified, y'all. I'm sorry, man. Look, I'm about to cook for Thanksgiving and everything. I don't even want to cook the meat now. I'm about to go out here and eat me some grass from the front yard, yo. Like, damn.
Blood flukes. Blood flukes are parasitic flatworms commonly found in standing bodies of water, such as ponds or lakes. Larvae will pass through intermediate snail hosts before the worms enter a new developmental phase in which they're capable of burrowing through human skin. They'll enter blood vessels and migrate to the intestines, urinary tract, and, in rare cases, vital organs. In 2019, an unnamed Mexican man was found with flukes clinging to the walls of his liver. Blood flukes can thrive inside the human body for decades. They cause a condition called Schistosomiasis, also known as snail fever. It's been described as the second most devastating parasitic disease after malaria. It can lead to learning difficulties and poor growth in children. People who've been infected for a long time may suffer kidney failure, liver damage, infertility, or bladder cancer.
Oh, wow.
According to the World Health Organization, over 200 million people are infected each year, and about 200,000 die as a result of schistosomiasis. Since the disease is spread by contact with contaminated fresh water, access to clean water, and limiting the number of snails are the best preventative measures. Praziquantel is a type of medication that's effective both as a preventive treatment and as therapy for those infected. Number 4.
I'm gonna go get me some of those.
Ticks are definitely among the creepiest and deadliest invaders of the human body.
Gross.
Even though they only burrow on the surface of the skin, these tiny bloodsuckers are host to a number of infectious viruses, bacteria, and protozoa. There's a long list of tick-borne disease that includes Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and Lyme disease. Ticks are part of the arachnid family, known for other ill-reputed members such as spiders and scorpions.
Yeah.
Ticks need blood in order to survive and transition from one stage of life to the other. Since they can't jump or fly, many species have adapted their feeding strategies. They'll resort to something called questing. This involves clinging onto leaves or grass and holding their first pair of legs outstretched, ready to climb onto a host. Once they find a suitable spot, ticks will attach themselves firmly and use their mouth parts to pierce through the skin. As they feed on the host's blood, their pear-shaped bodies become grossly engorged. In addition to the many diseases they carry, ticks also have a neurotoxin in their salivary gland, which can cause tick paralysis. The potentially deadly disease has symptoms similar to anaphylaxis. The Australian paralysis tick, which has claimed a number of lives in its native habitat, can inject neurotoxic venom directly into its host. Number 3.
Well, damn! Like, bro, everything on this earth is created just to X us out, bro, at any time. Just pick one at this point. Shit, like, man, I don't know, bro.
Pinworms. Pinworms are among the most common types of
Damn
intestinal
worm,
worm
boy.
infections in the developed world. They're known to cause a disease called enterobiasis. These thin white worms grow to be about the size of a staple. Pinworms' eggs are swallowed, commonly as the consequence of contaminated hands, food, or other items. Enterobiasis can develop in people regardless of age, but is most common in children. That's because nail biting and finger sucking occur more frequently in this age group. Pinworms spread via the fecal-oral route and initially settle in the anus, where they can survive for up to 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
The most common symptom is itching in the area as the eggs start hatching and worms begin to wiggle around.
Oh.
Such infections are rarely deadly. However, prompt treatment, usually with mebendazole, is the best course of action as it prevents the worms from spreading. One particularly horrifying case occurred in the UK in 2016. An unnamed teenage girl went to the emergency room, complaining of nausea and pain in her right side. Doctors initially suspected appendicitis, but later found that her appendix was teeming with pinworms. They swiftly removed the organ, then used a suction pipe to prevent stray worms from falling into the teenager's abdominal cavity. Number 2, lower lower.
That's serious.
Commonly found in Africa, the lower lower is colloquially known as the eyeworm. It's transmitted through the bite of the mango fly or deer fly and migrates through human subcutaneous tissues at the skin's lowest layer. Infection causes a condition called lower lower filariasis. The creepiest aspect is that the worm is somewhat of a specialist at infecting the human eye. It can live for several years. While it doesn't typically affect vision, the victim might actually feel pain as the worm's moving inside. Depending on the severity of the infection, treatments range from medication to surgical removal. In recent years, there was one case of an Indian woman with a lower lower worm living behind her cornea. She'd arrived at a medical facility with extremely bloodshot eyes and an inflamed iris. It wasn't long before the worm was discovered. Her condition was rather unusual, given the large size of the worm at slightly over 0.4 inches, and the fact that it's quite rare in India. Doctors ultimately removed the worm by numbing it with medication and then going through the woman's nasal cavity for extraction. Before we continue, official They Will Kill You merchandise is now available at theywillkillyou.com. Stop clowning around and check it out, because your purchases really help support the channel. Number 1. Screwworm. Cochleomya hominivorox, the larval stage of the screwworm fly, has adapted to feeding on the exposed flesh of warm-blooded animals, including humans. In other words, the screwworm is capable of eating humans alive. Females will lay hundreds of eggs inside open flesh, such as wounds, ears, or navels. Infestation of a live vertebrate is called myisis. The larvae hatch and start feeding into the surrounding flesh, burrowing or screwing deeper into the tissue as they go. As they chew through healthy tissue, the worms may cause severe damage and even the death of the host. Rochelle Harris was returning to the UK from a holiday in Peru when she started experiencing mild headaches. Harris soon developed excruciating pain on one side of her face and heard strange scratching sounds in her head. Doctors were shocked to discover that maggots were living inside her ear canal. When they tried to remove them, the screwworms retreated towards her head. They ultimately discovered 8 large specimens living inside. The risks were plentiful. They could have chewed through facial nerves, causing face paralysis, or migrate to the brain and cause meningitis or fatal bleeding. Fortunately, Harris didn't suffer any long-term side effects after the screwworms were successfully removed. Thanks for watching.
That's crazy though. Like, look, man, now we know. Like, it's crazy. Now that just made me like really not want to eat any of this meat for Thanksgiving. I think I'm gonna give it one last little hoorah, then I think I might be done. I think it might did it for me, man. It might ruined it for me, yeah. You know. But look, I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Let me know how y'all felt about this video. And like I always say, spread love because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. See you in the next video. And I'm out though.